Hello, it's Marcy, and we are in the thick of summertime here where I live at. It's literally 100 degrees like almost every single day, like above 100 degrees, and it is so bad. For this video, I'm going to be focused more on like high level ideas, high level themes. I really want to talk to a person who's going to enter the industry, whether it's a new grad, whether it's someone switching industries, and I want to help you understand what mindset to be in, what sort of like culture things to expect, and just, speaking from my specific experience, take this in as information and use it as one part of your decision-making process. Remember, I'm not you, you're not me. We're all going to have different experiences. We're all going to think differently. We all have different perspectives. We all have different goals. What I want out of work and life is not necessarily what you're going to want. This is 6 things I've learned working in the tech industry for 6 years. So I've spent the last 6 years in the tech industry. I've always had a tech job, thankfully, ever since I graduated college. And just a little background about me, I went to a college in the Bay Area and I studied economics and I minored in computer applications. And yeah, during college the whole time, my one goal was I want a tech job right after college. I want to be at a large tech company. I want all the perks. I want to be sliding down the slide. I ended up working at multiple large tech companies, really popular, famous ones. And I've actually only ever been, I'm still working full time. I've only ever been at large tech companies my whole career. And so, number one, the first thing that I want to say to people who are looking to get in the tech industry or in college and, really striving for that job, definitely keep striving for it. But
you think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context. Talking about the significance of the passage of time. Right?
I want to make it clear, and I think this is just a life lesson in general, that things, especially a tech job, are not all that it's cut out to be. Thinking about the goal and visualizing yourself having the goal is like almost more exciting than achieving the goal itself or like living the goal, right? So work is work at the end of the day.
I don't BS. Work is work. I'm there to work. If you need me to do something, I'll get the job done.
You're going to have bad days, bad weeks, bad months. You're going to have difficult coworkers, managers that you don't really see eye to eye with. And not all the time. I'm not saying that all this is negatively all happening all the time, but I'm just saying things like this come up because life is just life and it's not this perfect, picture perfect. It's not all it's made out to be, right? You still have to do work. You still have to work hard. And what I think I'm trying to say is that, you still want to strive to have a full and complete life outside of work. It's good to have a goal and it's good to achieve that goal. And you still want to focus on your personal life. You still want to focus on like extracurricular hobbies. Once you have the thing that you want, especially in this case, a tech job, you're just going to realize like, okay, this is still just a job. This is still somewhere I have to go to work. This is still just somewhere where there's going to be due dates and sometimes the stuff is super boring. And yeah, you can't expect that one area of your life, one person in your life, one interest in your life, one hobby in your life can be the end all be all. It can't be the most enriching thing in your life because that's just so much to put on one thing, one person, one area of your life. Your life will be better and sweeter if you focus on a couple of main things that are really enriching, and that's what life is. Number 2, LinkedIn is going to be a very helpful tool. If you're trying to get in the technology space, I would definitely recommend having a profile. And if you do have a profile, make sure to have your picture up there. Make sure that you're connecting with people at companies that you want to work at. If you really even want to go the extra mile, which you definitely should be, I would suggest if you find a role that you really like, you type that role in the search bar along with the name of the company. And then a lot of the time, you're going to find either the recruiter posting about the role or the hiring manager posting about the role. I definitely think that there's more value in connecting with the hiring manager rather than the recruiter, but either one is really good. There's two strategies. You can reach out to someone who you think the hiring manager would be, and then in your message, you want to like strategically say that like, oh, if you're not the hiring manager, would you be able to point me to someone who is the hiring manager? Or the actual hiring manager may actually post about the job, and you definitely want to reach out to them and connect with them. It's going to make you stand out. It's going to show that you're putting in more effort and that you're more interested than everyone else. Number 3, another thing that I've learned is you better lay low. Learn to like the interviewing process. The interviewing process of a tech job is harder than the job itself sometimes. It usually follows this type of structure. Recruiter interview, where you just kind of talk about yourself and your background. You'll find that the recruiter a lot of the times doesn't really know your work that well. Their job is to get a general understanding and see if you might be a generally good fit, so that then the hiring manager can really determine whether you would be a good fit for the role. And so the next step would be the hiring manager. The hiring manager is going to go a little bit deeper into your history. They're going to ask questions specifically to your career, your abilities, your technical capabilities. And then you're going to meet like 3 or 4 people that work at the company who aren't always necessarily on the team that you're going to join on, but sometimes they are. And you're going to have to interview with them. And usually those interviews are like back to back to back to back. Anyone who has a tech job, they're at least a halfway decent interviewer. Like that is a core part of the job. It's kind of a theatrical performance. Just think about it as like you're an actor playing the role of this job role, and you have to really literally give the best Oscar-worthy performance of your life.
I'm acting.
Yeah, interview. You're going to want to get good at that. Look that up. Become a good public speaker. I think next one is a little bit controversial. And number 4, I think a little bit of lying is appropriate.
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
You know, you don't want to completely lie and say that you're a software engineer when you're not. Like, they're going to quickly find out that you can't do that. But sometimes where it's appropriate to lie is like maybe like your job title. Maybe so you just fudge up your role name a little bit so it's more reflective of the type of role that you're applying for. I think that's okay. I think, you know, once you get into the corporateness of it all, you'll kind of see how it's a little bit of like smoke and mirrors. Everyone's kind of doing a little game, a little dance, a little bit. So, you know, why not just lie?
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
Boost your resume a little bit. Instead of saying like support, you say lead or manage. And if it's asking you if you're familiar with the tool, yeah, I'm familiar. What familiar means is up for debate. I am familiar with this tool. Sure, that is something that I am familiar. You don't want to completely outright lie about something that you can't do or somewhere you didn't actually work, but you can sort of like fluff yourself up a little bit, and everyone does it, I think. Number 5, AI is your friend. You're gonna want to, as part of the interviewing process, make sure that the persons that you are interviewing with know what the AI policies at that company are, because you want to work somewhere where they allow AI. What I'll use ChatGPT for is to initiate a document, right? Maybe I'll give it like a prompt and be like, okay, I'm looking for this type of document. Can you provide that? And then I'll put some details in there, and then I'll make sure that whatever it spit out, I'm sort of like editing it and making it my own, but then it gives me somewhere to start. I think that's where a lot of folks have difficulties, like where to begin, or sometimes I'm thinking about the problem in this way. Like, is there a framework to solve this problem? Honestly, ChatGPT is so powerful. You're going to want to be using it at work. And honestly, in your personal life too, there's a lot of instances where I use ChatGPT in my personal life to help me with a lot of administrative work. Some things you have to synthesize a lot of information, and you can plug it into ChatGPT and be like, oh, what is the summary of what this documentation or post is trying to tell me about? Like, for example, if you're looking at a document and you're trying to understand whether this document adheres to your company's policies, or it adheres to some sort of like legal framework, or so some sort of product policy framework, you are going to want to you can put that document in ChatGPT, and you can ask it, does it comply with this certain framework, with this certain policy? Keep that in mind. I also use it a lot for emails. In corporate world, you are emailing your...
And you left crying, Ron made out with two girls and put his head in between.
Sending Slacks, and sometimes you have to make a lot of points. Sometimes, you're saying a lot of things and you're trying to make sure you capture a lot of things. So I'll put my emails through ChatGPT and be like, is this email concise and direct? And a lot of the times it will spit out something that's a little bit more concise and correct, or whatever I just said. And it's super helpful in that sense. So if you don't use AI, you're definitely going to want to start becoming really good at prompting the tools, and you're going to want to start gauging what companies are allowing that and what companies are not. Number 6. This is one of the biggest things I've had to become comfortable with. One of the biggest things I've learned, especially being in tech. You're going to have to be super duper comfortable with change, ambiguity, a slight bit of discomfort. All those things are happening. They're going to happen. If you're someone who requires a lot of regimented, scheduled, organized processes and procedures, maybe reconsider working in the tech field, because you're going to have to be comfortable with working in an environment that's constantly changing. What does change mean? Maybe your organization is reorganizing. So the business unit that you're in is completely reporting to a new lead, or maybe you guys are going to have a new manager, or maybe there's going to be layoffs. You have to be super comfortable with the idea that your job is not secure. That your employer can let you go at any time with no notice, at least in California. And yeah, just the type of work that you might be changed at a moment's notice. Who you're working with might change at a moment's notice. What the process of doing something could change at a moment's notice. So just learned, and I think that skill teaches you, what that teaches you is how to pick something up quickly, not get too attached to any one environment, any one person. You can't be dragging your feet the whole way through, or else honestly you're just going to make yourself miserable. You're going to make yourself look inflexible. It's just an opportunity to learn. I guess if you're trying to think it on the positive side, you should be someone that is appreciative of change, sees the value of change. So I covered a lot of things that were more high level, that I feel just are must knows, needs to know at a high level. I definitely have more things that are a little bit more detail focused and granular, that I think are more niche and specific. I definitely wanted to provide high level what I've learned, which I think could be applied across industries within tech, across different companies, and it's just really reflective of what working in this space is like. I'll probably make another video where I'm talking tactically what it looks like to be a good employee. And I was just really focused on someone who's entering the space newly, whether it's a new grad or someone who's switching industries. What could you expect? What sort of mindset to be in? Just some big picture ideas to really think about, and just really consider when sort of trying to enter this space. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.